Find the blue suitcase. And don't tell Karen. I found this note inside an old book my cousin was about to throw in the trash, just 2 hours after our grandfather's funeral. Karen thought she had won. She took the house, the car, and all the bank accounts. She kicked me out on the street. But she didn't know one thing. She didn't know that grandfather hid the real treasure in a place someone like her would never bother to look. And that little note was worth $1.2 million. Welcome to the channel. Here, we tell stories where greed punishes itself and karma strikes when you least expect it. Today, we have a classic case, an inheritance battle entitled Relatives, and an old suitcase that changed everything. Subscribe now so you don't miss the next case. Let's go. It all started on the day of the funeral. While I was still standing by the grave, my cousin Karen was already on the phone with a realtor. Grandpa left a will, but it was old. According to the documents, the house went to Karen. She was his only daughter, even though she hadn't visited him once in the last 10 years. I lived with Grandpa. I took care of him. But legally, I was nobody. Karen stormed into the house like a hurricane. Trash everything, she ordered the movers. This junk is only lowering the property value. I want empty walls by tonight. She was throwing away everything. His clothes, his stamp collections, his photo albums. To her, it was garbage. To me, it was memories. I tried to save at least something. While she wasn't looking, I grabbed his favorite fishing guide from the shelf. The book he used to read to me when I was a kid. I opened it just to smell the old paper. And that's when that folded piece of paper fell out. I read the note. My heart started hammering in my throat. In the attic. Don't tell Karen. I knew that look in Grandpa's eyes. He was a sly old man. If he wrote, "Don't tell Karen," it was serious. I approached my cousin. Karen, listen, mind if I check the attic? I think the roof might be leaking. We should check before the sale. She rolled her eyes. Do what you want. Just stay out of the way. And if you find any junk up there, dump it immediately. I flew up the stairs. It was dark and stifling hot. I shone my flashlight into the corners. Old chairs, boxes. And there it was. In the farthest corner, hidden under an old blanket. A battered, blue leather suitcase from the 1950s. Heavy as a brick. I came downstairs, covered in dust, suitcase in hand. And of course, right at the exit, I ran into Karen. This was the deciding moment. If she opened it now, it was game over. What is that crap? She asked, wrinkling her nose in disgust. I try to make my face look as indifferent as possible. Oh, just Grandpa's old tools. Rusty wrenches, hammers. I want to keep them for memory, maybe throw them in my garage. She looked at the suitcase. It was dirty, worn out. She sneered. You always collected trash, just like him. Take it. You save me space in the dumpster. Remember those words. Take this trash. Those exact words are what saved me in court. I drove to my apartment and put the suitcase on the kitchen table. My hands were shaking so bad I couldn't get the key in the lock. Click. The lid lifted. There were no rusty hammers inside. The suitcase was packed tight, to the very brim, with stacks of cash. Old bills. 50s, 100s. Wrapped in rubber bands. And in a side compartment, a wooden box filled with gold Krugerrands. A letter lay on top. Grandpa wrote, I stopped trusting banks after the 2008 crisis. I knew that when I was gone, Karen would sell the house without looking. She only sees the cover. She never looks inside. This is all yours. Taxes on this money were paid 20 years ago. Here are the receipts. Love you, grandson. I counted money all night. $1,240,000. Of course, secrets don't live long. A month later, I bought a new car and paid off my mortgage. Rumors reached Karen. She went absolutely furious. She sued me, claiming I stole property from the house that legally belonged to her. Technically, she was right. Everything inside that house was hers. But my lawyer had an ace up his sleeve. We found one of the movers who was there that day. And he had a body cam on because his company policy required documenting the inventory process. In court, we played the footage. Dead silence in the room. And then Karen's voice, loud and clear. Take this trash. I don't need it. You save me space. The judge took off his glasses. He looked at Karen, then at me. The plaintiff voluntarily relinquished ownership rights, classifying the object as trash and transferring it to the defendant as a gift. Case dismissed. Karen got the house. But after paying Grandpa's debts and the inheritance taxes, she actually ended up in the red. And I bought a lake house. And I hung that old fishing book on the wall. The moral is simple. Be careful what you throw away. And never anger a grandfather. What would you have done? Would you have returned the money or kept it? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this story, hit the like button and subscribe. I have plenty more cases where justice wins coming up. See you next time.